Hey, hi all. Welcome to All Tasting from Home. I'm JP, your host with French Country Wine. We've changed the format a little bit, whereas we are straying away from our cider tasting a little bit, and we are going to be going to a monthly six pack. I'll come in and tell you a little bit about those wines. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started with our first wine tonight. We have a from Domaine Matignon in the Loire Valley. We have a Saumur Brut. So it is a sparkling wine, and it's a méthode traditionnelle. What do you mean by méthode traditionnelle? Well, it is a champagne method. We used to call that a méthode champenoise. The Champagne region no longer approves of the term being used. And so it's now a méthode traditionnelle. So it goes through a second fermentation inside the bottle to create those tiny little bubbles that we all love. It's made out of 70% Chenin Blanc, very traditional grape in the Loire Valley, 20% Chardonnay, and 10% Cabernet Franc that is vinified as a white wine. So Cabernet Franc is a red grape, but if we don't repress those juices and don't leave them in contact with the skin, then we get a white wine out of it. The vines are on sandy loams, clay and sand soil. It is a brut, 6 grams, so it's actually a very low dosage because brut can go from 6 grams to 12 grams. So it's really at the limit of the extra brut. And we have a small production, 15,000 bottles produced. The Domaine Matignon is an haute valeur environnementale or HVE label, which is a brand new label for France since 2012. HV label, meaning preservation biodiversity. We want to make sure that we reintroduce it, the little insects and worms in the ground, plant protection strategy. Or do we protect the plants without adding any things that could interact badly with the environment? Fertilization management, meaning that we are going to use organic fertilizers only and only when needed, and management of water resources. So although we are not allowed to water vines except in extreme circumstances in France, we are going to still manage water resources by collecting rainwater, using that rainwater to possibly wash equipment and make sure that water does not go to waste. I'd like to point out Paris right here on the map of France. Most of us, this is where we fly in when we go to France. And Loire Valley is just a little south of it, right here in that salmon color. On the eastern part of the Loire Valley, we have a very well-known region called Sancerre. And Domaine Matignon is actually right here in white, in Martigny-Briand, not far from Anjou. We have Yves Matignon, which is a several generation winemaker. Has been farming family land, and we're going to let him tell us about his L'eau Saumur.
Bon. Donc là, on va déguster le Saumur brut. Voilà, Saumur brut, donc qui est à base de Chenin pour 70%, 25% de Chardonnay, qu'on cultive sur le domaine, et puis 5% de Cabernet qui est vinifié en blanc. Voilà. Donc sur le chemin, comme ça, on a des notes un petit peu sur ce Saumur brut. En fait, on a des notes un petit peu beurrées, assez rondes comme ça au nez. Donc tout est fait sur le domaine. Hein. La méthode traditionnelle est effectuée sur le domaine, hein, chez nous. Et puis la particularité de ce Saumur, c'est qu'il est peu dosé en sucre, parce qu'en fait, on fait une fermentation malolactique sur le vin de base, quoi. Ce qui fait un vin beaucoup plus rond, quoi. C'est un vin qui a des bulles assez fines, Hein, ça fait un vin qui est assez élégant, comme ça, une bulle qui passe bien en fait, hein, qui n'est pas agressive du tout. Et des fois, on peut reprocher des fois sur des bruts ce côté vert un petit peu qu'on peut trouver avec de l'acidité. Là, on est sur une bulle qui est assez ronde comme ça. Et encore une fois, on a cette fraîcheur quoi, en fait, hein, qu'on retrouve un petit peu dans nos vins. Bonne dégustation.
The very next wine that we have is the Mâcon-Solutré-Pouilly from Domaine Romanin in the Burgundy region. So Mâcon-Solutré-Pouilly is an appellation in southern Burgundy. This is a 2019, 100% an oak Chardonnay. There are a few exceptions to Burgundy, but when we're talking about a white Burgundy, we usually talk about a 100% Chardonnay. And these are pretty young vines, 7 to 8-year-old vines, clay limestone soil. So the Burgundy region, here again, we have a map of France with Paris. And the Burgundy region is in red, and it starts right below Champagne with the region of Chablis. Then we have a part that is not planted at all, and the main Burgundy region starts right here in Dijon, and it goes all the way down to Mâcon. And the Domaine Romanin is right below Mâcon, so it's the southern point of the Burgundy region, which is planted 90% in Chardonnay. So again, right here we have a Burgundy region, starting with Chablis, of course, which is a low side. Main Burgundy region, Dijon, and Domaine Romanin is in a region called the Mâconnais, which is better known for its white wines. This is the village of Fuissé, where Domaine Romanin is. And the La Roche du Solutré, which where the vines are planted right on the bottom.
Hello, welcome to Domaine Romanin. I'm Denis Vervier, the owner of the domain. It's a family domain, and I'm the 5th generation of vine growers. So you can see a splendid view of my village and of the fabulous work of Solutré-Pouilly. It's pretty sunny today, and we are in the vineyard, and we can discover how the grapes are now. So the grapes are in flower. So just after we will discover the real grape. You can see now the domain. It's the family house, and I will show you my main cellar. So you can find steel tank where the Mâcon-Solutré-Pouilly is done. The vinification of this wine is only in steel tank, and the oak barrels are only for the Pouilly-Fuissé wine. So for your dinner, you have a Mâcon-Solutré-Pouilly 2018. So this wine is made on a steel tank. So that keep the fruit and the mineral aromas. You can see its color. It's a golden yellow color with a green tint. It smells nut, almond, and a touch of white flower. In months we can smell the fruit. It's really fruity, and we have a very good balance. So it's perfect to enjoy a dinner. Cheers!
Our third white this month is from Domaine Ruhlmann, and it's a Gewurztraminer Grand Cru. here. So we've the vigneron Ruhlmann-Schutz, and this is our Gewurztraminer Grand Cru Frankstein 2017. Alsace is on the northern eastern part of France, bordering Germany, and the wine region starts right below Strasbourg. We got Strasbourg right here with the wine region starting. A little bit bigger. They are in Dombasle-la-Ville. Marthe Ruhlmann started, well, actually didn't start, but took over family vineyards with a husband. And at the time, they had 12 hectares or so. When her husband passed, a son, André Ruhlmann, and a son-in-law, Jean-Victor Schutz, came to help her in the 1990s. And since then, the vineyards have grown considerably, over 40 hectares. We got future generation already in place with Jacques-Émile Ruhlmann, which is starting to take over the winemaking from his father, and Antoine Schutz, which is in charge of the marketing abroad here. And we're going to have actually Antoine tell us a little bit about the Frankstein vineyard and the family.
Hello everyone, welcome in Alsace. My name is Antoine Schutz. I'm one of the sons of the Ruhlmann-Schutz family, a family winery that is located in the village of Dombasle-la-Ville, right in the middle of Alsace. We are located 40 kilometers south from Strasbourg and 20 kilometers up north from Colmar. And by train, we are just 2 hours from Paris. I'm located in front of our Grand Cru Frankstein plots. It's a plot of 3 hectares of vineyards with the Riesling, the Pinot Gris, the Gewurztraminer and the Muscat. So I will show you the Grand Cru and then we will go over there. So this is a plot of Riesling. We have the Pinot Gris here, we have Gewurztraminer here and Muscat, and the Grand Cru is going all the way over there. So it's a huge plot, it's pretty nice, and we will go there. So the typicity of the Grand Cru Frankstein is its granitic soil. So the granite is a rock that we can find very deep in the ground, but because of the Alsace Valley that was like that, the Alsace Valley, when the land slip down and let the granite appears. So basically the granite is a soil like that, so it's very right, and you can see all the details of the granite. And what is nice with that kind of soil is that during the night the vineyards will keep all the freshness during the night, and then during the day when it's very warm like today, it will bring back the freshness of the night to the grapes. So the vineyards really enjoy the granite, and the typicity of that, it brings a very nice minerality to the wine. So you will see with your tasting that the minerality is pretty nice. So I'm going up. It's a Grand Cru that is very deep. Everything is made by hand. We cannot use tractor here because it's too deep. So it's a lot of work, and I'm already getting exhausted. And what is really nice to see today is that the flowers has come, and then you will see the very nice berries, the little berries, just like here. So it's pretty nice, pretty beautiful. And here is the best place to have a glass of wine with your friends. We can even do some barbecue. And you have the view of the village. So right over there, it's the church of Dombasle-la-Ville. And in the back, if you see in the back, you see the mountain. This is the Black Forest from Germany. So Germany is really close. And we have everything here. So yes, what I said is that the granite brings a very nice minerality, but also it brings a lot of complexity. Basically, the roots of the vineyards are going very, very, very deep. They are going deep, down from 7 to 10 meters, and this is why it will bring this minerality, because the vineyard is actually suffering to get all the nutriment and all the water to be able to grow. And so that's why the Grand Cru Frankstein has its own soil. There are only 2 Grand Cru in Alsace with a granitic soil, and we have one of them. And voilà. To explain also just a little bit about our family, we own 45 hectares of vineyards and we produce approximately 30 different wines. Why we have so many wines in Alsace is just because we have a lot of different soil, and we produce monocépage. We don't do blending in between the grapes variety. So that's why French Continental Wines actually import 5 different Riesling of us, because each Riesling has its own typicity. So it's very interesting to see the difference in between the Riesling, because they are really all different. I hope you enjoy your wine tasting, and hopefully I will be able to come back to the US when everything is far, far, far behind us. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.
Rosé this month is from Domaine Vordy, and most of you are familiar with Domaine Vordy. They have brought us several beautiful reds and their white Pégonelle. This is their Rosé 2019. They are located in the Minervois. They are a certified organic vineyard. And so the Minervois is in the Languedoc-Roussillon. It's just in the blue right around here. So southern France gets really nice and warm down there. Again, we have the Mediterranean Sea right here, and there in the Minervois number 2 right here. And I'm going to let Hélène tell you a little bit about the domain and the family.
Bonjour, bienvenue au domaine Vordy. Nous vous accueillons dans notre caveau de vente, situé dans le sud de la France, en Languedoc, au cœur du parc naturel du Haut-Languedoc et à côté du petit village de Minerve, un des plus beaux villages de France. Je vous accueille en compagnie de ma belle-fille, Justine.
Et donc ma belle-mère, Hélène. Donc nous travaillons en agriculture biologique. Nous avons du blanc, du rosé, du rouge. Il y a 9 cuvées en tout.
This is the town of Minerve. On the right-hand side, right, you can see the vines. These are actually the vines from Domaine Vordy that you can see the town right from there. We got some extremely old vines. Most of them are well above 65 years old. But right here on the left, we have some Carignan vines, which are over 100 years old. Some extremely old vines, a very rocky soil. So you can see we got got plenty of wildflowers going in the middle. So a very diversified soil. The rosé is made of 1/3 Cinsault, 1/3 Syrah, 1/3 Grenache, and it's an argilo-calcareous soil. Yes, as you saw. This is Didier, the winemaker. Didier is actually allergic to sulfites, so he uses extremely low sulfites in his wines, as little as he can manage. He adds a little bit at bottling time to stabilize the wine so that it can travel, but that's about as far as it goes. And then we have Thibaut, his son, slowly taking but surely taking over the winemaking, and he's already got the next generation ready, as you can see. Hope that you enjoy that rosé. It's a really beautiful wine. First red this month, we got the Tramontane wine, 100% Grenache. We go from Côte Catalan, and so the Côte Catalan is really as far south as you can go before you get to Spain, and right here in the green. And they are located right here below Perpignan. The I'm gonna let Andy Cook tell you about his wines.
I'm Andy, and this is my winery that we're walking through here. This is the offices, and here we are in the winery. So you can have a look around, see what's going on in here. So this is where we make the Grenache that you guys are going to be tasting this evening. And it's a typical grape variety from this region. So we're in the Roussillon, south of France, as far south as you can get, basically. Before you get to Spain. So it's very hot here. We've got the heat wave coming just now. We harvest early, so we're starting to harvest next week on some of our parcels. So it's one of the first areas in France that we pick in. And this is the wine over here that you guys are going to be drinking. So here it is, Tramontane Grenache. And as I said, this grape variety is the red variety that likes the sun. It's nice and soft, lots of fruit. It doesn't get hurt if it's very hot weather. So it's the perfect grape variety for this region. And this is made in a reasonably traditional style, I would say, but with perhaps a little more of a modern fruity edge than some of them might have. It's actually vinified very simply. It's made from good old vines. The average age would be between 30, 40 years old. And really all the works in the vineyard, these are bush vines, natural bush vines, so there's no trellising, they just grow straight up out of the ground. And once it arrives in the winery, everything's done in tanks, so there's no barrels involved here for this wine. The aim is to make it as juicy as possible. So we're looking at red fruits, low levels of tannin. It's a quite high alcohol wine because that's what happens with Grenache. If you want it really ripe, I think you have to wait. And if the alcohol level goes up, so be it. That's the price that you pay if you want really nice, ripe, juicy fruit flavors. So here we go. I hope a lot of wine for the price. And most importantly, I hope you enjoy it. So cheers. Thank you very much. Santé.
Thank you, Andy. Our very last red this month is another Grenache. And this time, this one is from the Rhône Valley from Domaine Rouge Bleu. We got the Lunatique. Lunatique is really a double meaning. It's first of all, it's a small plot of vine, and it has they do everything by the lunar calendar. And then they claim that you have to be a real complete lunatic to make such a low yield wine, because the vines are over 100 years old, very small production. They could produce 4 times as much wine on that parcel that they are actually creating, and that they had younger vines. They are just above Châteauneuf-du-Pape in the southern Rhône Valley. So we got a little map of France right here on the left. Again, Paris. So in orange, we got the Rhône Valley. So it's definitely southern France. It's right before you get to Provence. Our winemaker and owner, Caroline Jones, is from Australia. And she fell in love with Thomas Bertrand, a French guy from the Vosges mountains in eastern France, and decided to buy this vineyard in 2012 in southern France.
Here we are, furthest parcel away from the farm. Beautiful
beautiful plot of Grenache planted in 1910. This is where we'll produce our famous pure Grenache, the Lunatique. And you can see from the vines around me there's quite a few missing vines. This is due to the age of the parcel. The Grenache are all in bush vines and very low to the ground. This is a very old technique. Maybe you can hear on the microphone the wind is actually blowing. This is a Mistral. So the bush technique allows to protect the vines low to the ground, but also you can see that we are in a beautiful riverbed here, which is a fantastic terroir. You can see those rocks which are extremely hot at this time of the day in the summer. These have a very important job to do. They will ensure the maturity of the grapes. They will carry on radiating heat during the night, and to produce Grenache of top quality you need over maturity. So these are very important to ensure optimate ripeness. And because it's a riverbed, under the pebbles you will find clay, and this clay is also very important, full of nutrients. Clay will act like a sponge, so the very little rain that we get at this time of the year, the clay will store it and give it back to the plant very progressively. Beautiful grannies, very low yield. You saw on the picture here on camera. So the bunches are very small but incredible concentration. The yield from this parcel is 8 hectoliters per hectare on a very good year. To give you an idea, this will allow us to make about 1,200 bottles on a good year. Legally, my appellation will allow me to make 1,200, so we make 1,200, we allow 12,000. Imagine if I was in a prestigious appellation like Châteauneuf-du-Pape, I would be allowed to make 5,000 bottles. So these vines are hardly producing, but extremely concentrated in qualitative juice. So recording this video at the end of July, we can see that the grapes, black Grenache, have started turning color. This is what we call the veraison, but you can see that not all of them have yet turned. I have some behind me that are still completely green. This is to show that Grenache is a very late ripener, and it would take a long time before harvest is ready, despite nature being about 10 days early. We would expect to pick those in the early October, where the Grenache is at its full maturity. As you know, is 100% Grenache. This means that the grape will be harvested at full maturity. Potential alcohol pretty high. This is the result of late harvest, but fantastic concentration and complexity. Because of the power of the potential of the juice, we will try and handle the fruit as gently as possible. Beyond the hand harvesting, the grapes will only be picked in the morning. We will pick only on fruit days, which by the lunar calendar are the fruits where the days where the fruit concentration is the most interesting and elegant. And in the winery, we decide to only handle things by gravity, just to protect the juice as much as possible. So the first step will be to crush the fruits by fruits, like it used to be done in the old days, crushing very cold berries, because we only pick in the morning. We don't keep the grapes in the vineyard during harvesting. They go back straight away to the winery. And after the crushing, then the maceration process will start. The first step will be done in a barrel, but standing up barrel like you can see now. We will remove the top of the barrel and put the grapes whole in there for 1 month fermentation. We choose small barrel to avoid early oxidation and preserve the freshness of the juice. Following the 1 month process, if we are happy with the wine, we will press with a very old school mechanical press, gravity feeding the juice down. This is such a small level of production that we can afford to do it the old way. And the juice will, just as I am, by gravity, flow all the way back down to the winery and come and fill up these big barrels, 600-liter barrels, which we call demi-muit. They are much bigger than the classic barrel. I don't know if you can see the difference here. We have about 5 of them, 6 of them. 2 of them represent the whole production for 1 year. So all the process that I described earlier on brings us to the bottle, and there is actually a lot of similarities between the wine you will taste in the bottle, its evolution over a period of a few hours to a few days, to the actual aging cycle that we have chosen for this wine. I explained we use demi-muit for an aging period of 3 years. The reason behind the 3 years is that the first year aging is going to bring you a very rich, generous, jammy wine, probably lacking a little bit of complexity, so we wait for another 2 years. The second year, the tannins, the sheer force of the wine is going to reveal itself. It's probably where the wine is at the least elegant, so we age even further, wait for a third winter before release, and it's only the third year that we see the wine opening up, the acidity coming through, and the balance and the elegance showing. So this in the barrel, you will actually find it in the bottle. If you crack on a bottle, taste the wine, straight away it's all about generosity, black fruit, very chocolatey. You can serve it with a Black Forest Gâteau, with some really almost sweet dish. You open the wine for 6-8 hours in a decanter, and then you're going to see the true power of Lunatique. There it probably will be at its best with beef steak, rich red meats. And for me, the most interesting, if you leave open the bottle for 24 hours, maybe 48, and then the acidity is going to take over, and the wine is going to be incredibly balanced, very, very elegant, despite its powerful alcohol level. So when you drink young, make sure you open the wine, let it try it at different stage. But of course, you can keep this wine. It will be at its best in a period of 5 to 10 years, probably even more if the wine is kept properly. So cheers.
Thank you for joining me this month. And we'll be having this 6-pack through the month of February with a new 6-pack coming out on March 1st. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.